poorly as they have taken care of it, they are still in this ball game and have to feel better about themselves than they did in Game 3 with all the things that are going wrong.
Indiana leads 65-59. Anthony Davis in the backcourt. Mason, Williams, and Ewing up front. Patrick Ewing just took a shot in the face from Rick Smith and then throws up a bad shot. Fleming, it was intended for Dale Davis, played it off the glass. Here's Smith.
When some things are going right, they're going right. A terrible pass, but Dale Davis able to corral it, and then a quick jumper by Rick Smith.
Pacers by 8. Charles Oakley getting set for return. That rally wants Oakley back on the floor. Ewing, will it count? Yes, it does, and the foul. Drop step move by Ewing, who was fouled by Fleming.
Well, Larry Brown wants to come down very, very quickly on Patrick Ewing, but he's able to knife in between. Timeout on the floor, 9 seconds.
An ABA All-Star, led the ABA in assists in each of the league's first 3 seasons. Patrick Ewing completing the three-point play, and the Pacers now lead 67-62 with 9:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. This game was tied at 39. Indiana went on that 15-4 run. Pacers have had control of the game in the second half for the most part. And the outside official, Hugh Hollins, makes the call on Patrick Ewing. That's his third.
And Patrick dodges had the aggressive move by Rick Smith into the lane here. As again, Anthony with just a little wave inside. Patrick getting caught trying to strip him down low. He got away with one of those in the first half, not this time.
Haywood Workman and Reggie Miller at the guards. Rick Smith, Derek McKee, and Dale Davis up front. McKee played by Mason, and now draws the double team. Workman has the open shot. Saved by Oakley. The Knicks do not mind seeing Haywood Workman taking that outside shot.
No, Montelli's doing that last time out to Larry Brown, encouraging his team to keep the ball moving. That makes it much more difficult for the Knicks to defend. When you get stagnant, they are a better defensive team.
Ewing with a drop step. Patrick Ewing squeezing under Rick Smith. And the Knicks are down by only 3, despite their poor shooting throughout. Although they have picked it up a bit in the second half. They're now 37% for the game. Indiana's dropped off to 39%. Mason with the steal.
Oh, the Knicks really working defensively right now, looking to help each other. Everybody moving as if they were on a string, and the aggressiveness is picking off those balls.
Shot clock at 5. It's down to 2. Anthony has to fire and hits the 3. With the shot clock down to 1, Greg Anthony with a 3-pointer. He has excelled from downtown during the playoffs, and he has tied the game at 67. 8 unanswered points by the Knicks.
Now Charles Oakley delivering the ball with a little mustard on it as Patrick Ewing with one of his up and under moves as Rick Smith just not able to move his feet, and Greg Anthony greeting Greg Anthony.
For Greg Anthony, his first field goal of the day. Knicks and Pacers tied 67. 7:20 to go in the fourth quarter. The Knicks have hit 5 of 7 from the field here in the fourth, so they have picked it up after the earlier poor shooting and the foul call. Now, the public address.
Illegal defense. Automatic technical foul.
Now, the public address announced a foul on Patrick Ewing, and the officials over to say no illegal defense call on Ewing. So Reggie Miller to the line. He's 8 for 10 at the foul line. So Indiana leads by 1.
Charles Oakley is going to be the man here illegal, as his man is way out in this area here. As he is allowed in that slot, but not in the lane. And you see that left foot in the lane as his offensive man is way out above the top of the key.
Pacers in possession, leading by 1. Miller. And off the scramble, Oakley comes away with the ball. Charles Oakley has turned it up in the second half. He now has 15 rebounds. Foul on Workman, pushing foul on Haywood Workman.
And the incredulous look on the part of Haywood Workman's face as putting pressure on Greg Anthony, which is what he did so well in game number 3, which set the tone for the Indiana Pacers. That kind of pressure has not been there in this second half on the part of the Pacers.
Both teams have 2 team fouls. Smits and Ewing battle for position. Here's Davis for 3. Mason with the rebound. Anthony feeds it back to Ewing. Nice ball movement. Davis again. Yes. And that is a 3-pointer for Hubert Davis. And the whole Knicks offensive sequence looks different now. Swinging the ball well, getting it down low. When Ewing sees the double team, he throws it out to the open man. And it has been clicking. Workman forced the pass. And it's picked up by Davis. The Knicks with a 2-point lead. First time they've led since it was 35-34 in the second quarter. The Knicks have outscored the Pacers 11-1. An 11-1 run. Shot clock at 7. Davis around Miller. Here's Davis rejected by Dale Davis.
Well, good idea there by Hubert Davis to take the ball to the basket with the shot clock winding down, but leaving his feet too early and really nowhere to go with it. And the Knicks get a break with having that ball swatted out of bounds.
3 on the shot clock. Deflected out by Smits. And now 2 remaining on the 24.
You got to look for either Hubert Davis or Anthony coming out high to take another 3-point shot here on this out-of-bounds play.
Anthony for Oakley. Too late. 24-second violation.
Well, nothing Anthony could do there. He just did not come out high enough. And when the shot was challenged on the pass-off, no way they could get the shot off in time.
5.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Indiana without a field goal the last 4 minutes. Knicks lead 70-68. The Knicks have surpassed their point total from game 3, that record playoff low of 68 points. The other day was Miller. Reggie Miller has tied the game at 70. 21 for Miller, easily his best performance of this series. They are on their feet here at Market Square Arena. Anthony for 3. Miller with the rebound. Miller had Davis committed, but gets it to Smits. Pacers take a 2-point lead. And the Knicks call for time.
Well, excellent execution by Indiana. All started with Derek McKee curling first, which has enabled Rick Smits to step in and pick off Greg Anthony to get that wide open look for Reggie Miller. Probably the best execution of this second half for Indiana. And now Rick Smits getting wide open because the penetration by Reggie Miller through the New York defense, leaving Smits wide open.
Confidence, but I think somewhere along the way you don't want to keep throwing the balls up in the air and thinking you're going to win all your home games. So, you know, today's as good a day as any.
And during the regular season, the Knicks were a good road team at 25 and 16 away from Madison Square Garden. Indiana ball off the steal by Workman. Knicks were able to break up that fast break, but Indiana with 21 on the 24 as McKee gets set to throw it in.
defending Miller. It's been Anthony for the last 6 or 7 minutes. It was Harper before that, who feels they are much quicker and able to follow him off those screens. Not that time, however.
Indiana by 4. 4:15 remaining in the fourth. Shot clock at 6. Davis for 3. Antonio Davis on the rebound. And a whistle. Foul called. It is a push called on Antonio Davis.
Greg Anthony trying to hang on to Reggie Miller to keep contact and fight over the screens by Dale Davis. But Reggie Miller getting that little pick just enough from Antonio Davis to free him up, and the man guarding Antonio did not step out and trap, which is what the Knicks are supposed to do in that situation, especially when Reggie Miller has the ball.
Eric Hoffer has replaced Greg Anthony. This game did not begin pretty, but it is easily the best game of the series. Good finish here at Market Square. Patrick Ewing with a little spike save.
Well, Larry Brown has gone to a smaller front line, the two Davises and Derek McKee. He feels it's a better defensive lineup, and then they'll try to get Rick Smits in on some offensive sequences.
Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. They have each used their 20. 3:49 to go in the fourth. 9 on the shot clock. Davis followed by Miller. Down to 5 of the 24. Down to 3. Hoffer's pass, Madeline Hoffer on the recovery, and it's a 24-second violation.
Well, Pat Riley ran down to almost half court to try to let his team know that that shot clock was winding down. It didn't appear that anybody on the floor knew, although Derek Harper did as he tried to put up that hook shot. Pat Riley shows his disdain for it, and Larry Brown, with his enthusiastic reaction, will now try to get Rick Smits onto the floor for some offense.
The Knicks with a 22nd turnover. Indiana with only 12. Let's see if the substitution will be allowed. The crowd chanting for Reggie Miller with 23 points. Indiana with 6 consecutive points. Following that 11-1 run by the Knicks. Rick Smits will come in the next dead ball. John Starks will also check in. Shot clock at 6. Miller steps away from the jumper and was fouled by Hoffer.
Well, Derek Harper did an excellent job of chasing Reggie Miller off that screen. Nobody could get that pick on him, and then leveled him off on his attempted drive to the basket, challenged the shot, but then makes a very bad play here, coming down right on the side of Reggie Miller's shoulder, and an obvious foul on the jump shot. You want to challenge that shot. He did his job. He should have just not hit him on the side.
For the first time this series, Reggie Miller's impact is felt.
And Derek Harper and Reggie Miller continue to jaw at each other, something that started in the closing seconds of the second quarter. And Derek Harper talking to Miller one more time as he goes up for a second free throw.
John Starks ran over to the official and tried to indicate that Miller should have been hit with a technical for taunting because he chased Harper after hitting that first foul shot. 6-point Indiana lead. We come up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ewing. He was suffocated by Antonio Davis. That's number 3 on Davis. Here's Starks trying to get the attention. Well, he first tried the official on the far side, Hugh Evans, then tried Bennett Salvatore. Trying to get a technical foul called on Reggie Miller because John, who certainly has seen trash talking up close and personal from both ends, felt that there should have been a technical foul called on Miller, who stepped back after he hit that first foul shot to have some words with Hoffer. Patrick Ewing is 6 of 6 from the line. The Indiana lead is now 5 points. Here's Rick Smits checking back in, replacing Antonio Davis. 5 points for Davis. Smits hurt by foul problems this afternoon, but once again hitting his shot. 7 of 13, 15 points. So the Pacers now lead by 4. Eric Hopper, Reggie Miller continuing the chatter with just under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. First time the Knicks have been able to get a rise out of Reggie Miller, who is fouled by Hopper. So Hopper called for his fourth.
And again, they continued to talk as they were coming down to that end of the floor, and Reggie Miller really was working Harper over, getting open and putting up the shot as Harper once again tries to challenge that shot that clearly catches Reggie Miller on the right hip, and you can't be putting a shooter on the line. As they're kind of smiling, and who knows what they're saying at this particular point. It was nasty at the end of the first half. This looks like it's a good nature right now, but you don't want to be fooling with this stuff. Who knows what the officials are going to call? You don't want in a close ball game. You don't want to give up an extra free throw with a technical foul for taunting.
Miller is 11 of 13 from the line. His free throw shooting dropping off in the playoffs, but during the regular season, 91%. Second in the NBA to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf of the Denver Nuggets. Indiana leads 77-72. Antonio Davis back on the floor. Rick Smith sitting down. The offensive-defensive shuffle of Larry Brown continues.
And Davis has been doing a good job, Antonio, that is, of pushing Ewing off the block. And when you do that, you really don't have to double Patrick Ewing if you can get him 17, 18 feet away from the bucket.
Indiana by 6. 2:35 remaining. Fourth quarter. Knicks have hit a drought once again. Trying to swing the ball for an open shot. Oakley. Wolfman out of the pack, leading Miller. And Miller fouled by Hopper. And they have words. Miller immediately kept away by Antonio Davis. And let's see what the call is. It is a personal foul. Number 5 on Hopper. The Pacers calling for a flagrant.
Well, Reggie Miller going in. Derek Harper is actually going to get both hands on this basketball. He hit the top of the head of Reggie Miller, and that's where the foul occurred. But Derek Harper does try to play the ball here, and that's why the officials did not call a flagrant foul.
Reggie Miller spending much time at the line. 13 of 15 from the foul line. And now Hopper and Workman, who had some testy moments in the final game between these two clubs during the regular season, are chatting away. So things have picked up. This was a very quiet series up until today, as the Pacers try to tie the series at 2. Reggie Miller hits the free throw and then stares at Derek Hopper. Indiana leads by 7. 2:20 remaining in the fourth. Indiana 80. New York 72. Starks off a double team. We come up on 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Starks can't find the shot. Now does for 3 and hits. Three-pointer by John Starks. And it cuts it to a 5-point Pacer lead.
And the Knicks have made the defensive switch right now. John Starks back to Miller. Harper on the point guard. Workman.
Minute 45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Now Starks with a handshake of Miller. 3 on the 24. Miller. And it carries out of bounds. The ball goes goes to the Knicks. But first they take a timeout. Pacers lead by 5. Game 4 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final Series has come down to the final minutes. The Knicks leading 2 games to 1. The scene shifting to Madison Square Garden. Game 5 Wednesday night. Indiana Pacers with 3 timeouts remaining. New York Knicks with 2. Knicks already over the foul limit. Next foul by the Pacers will be their 5th. Knicks had the lead briefly. They were up 70-68 after that good run. However, Indiana able to turn it back around, led by Reggie Miller. And the Pacers lead 80-75. Off the double team, Harper had it knocked away. Starks diving on it, and it will be a jump ball.
Well, Derek Harper lost it, and John Starks diving, and as he got his hands on the ball, he was pleading for a timeout. None of the 3 officials could see him making that call. Good random trap as they surprised Harper and knocked that thing loose. And John Starks, you can see him there yelling for somebody to call a timeout. One of the 3 referees, they could not see his mouth moving.
The jump ball will take place at center court. Indiana very successful. Game 3 on Saturday with showing flashes of the track. We have not seen it much here today.
A good time to do it. They have some other decisions to make defensively in this closing minute and a half on what to do with Patrick Ewing. If they come down and double him, that'll open up those possible 3-point shots for John Starks or Derek Harper. I would think if Antonio Davis can push Ewing off the block and play him head up and make him pick a jump shot with a hand in his face, the Pacers will be better off for that. I think New York would like to see Indiana double team so they could get a look at a 3, and then if a Pacer runs at somebody, drive it to the basket.
Workman and Starks will go on the jump ball. And the Pacers control. Indiana ball. They have a 5-point lead. Down to 1:20 remaining in the 4th. Shot clock at 8. McKee for Antonio Davis, able to save the pass. Shot clock at 1, and it is a violation.
While the scratching, clawing, scrambling defense of New York kept knocking that ball loose, Antonio Davis did an excellent job of getting to that loose ball, but just could not get that shot up with the 2 seconds on the shot clock. Actually, it flipped out of his hand.
The ball back to the Knicks with 1:05 remaining. Indiana 80. New York 75. Here's the double team. Now Dale Davis drops back. Oakley with the pick. Starks gets the pick from the other side. Harper for 3. Rebounded by Mason. 45 seconds to go. Another possession for the Knicks. Ewing off the double team. And it's thrown to the backcourt. It will be Indiana ball.
Well, the Knicks really can't complain. They really got what they wanted. They got the Pacers scrambling on defense, running around, double teaming very aggressively, but it left Harper and Starks open momentarily. It's just horrible passing by New York prevented the Knicks from getting a good shot.
Timeout called by Larry Brown. The Knicks with their 24th turnover. 35 seconds remaining. 35 and 9/10 seconds remaining. 4th quarter.
Larry Brown anticipating a foul on the part of the New York Knicks as Derek McKee cannot get that ball in. Has put 5 good foul shooters on the floor. Both Davises on the bench.
So Indiana taking the timeout. They are down to 1 timeout left. We'll take a break. Back after a word from your local station. Always showing with John Starks. Looks to be very upset here in these final seconds with the Knicks trailing the Pacers 80-75. Game number 5 of the series back in New York at Madison Square Garden. On Wednesday night, Pacers have lost 11 straight at the Garden, 31 of their last 33. Different story here, though, at home. Indiana has not lost at home since back on the 8th of April. 9-0 since then. They won the last 4 of the regular season, 5-0 in the playoffs at home, but that pass thrown away. Off the steal, here comes Starks, and Starks lays it in. With 30 seconds to go, the Indiana lead is down to 3. McKee fouled by Ewing. The Knicks giving the foul. Both clubs over the limit. Pacers' next foul will put them over. So Derek McKee, who was 1 for 2 from the line, will shoot 2.
Well, after that timeout, Larry Brown changed his inbound passer from the taller Derek McKee to Byron Scott. Byron Scott was running out of time as he threw the ball in below the hip of McKee, who couldn't hand it. The steal and the lay-in by John Starks as the aggressive New York defense just banging all over the pace. But Derek McKee did not go for that ball with 2 hands, and Starks finishes it off.
McKee, a 76% free throw shooter. And Indiana now 21 for 27 from the line. Pat Riley saying no foul, no foul. Did not want to give that foul.
Well, because there was about 30 seconds to go in this 4th quarter, and the Knicks, only trailing by 3, just wanted to get the stop defensively.
28, 4/10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if that was discussed in that timeout. They were probably going to commit the foul on the first inbound pass and didn't discuss the other option. How about this?
And McKee missing on both. Rebounded by the Knicks, and they take a timeout with 26 and 5/10 seconds remaining. In the 4th quarter, they are 3 points away from tying the game. Knicks 6 of 18 from downtown. Starks has hit 2 out of 3 from three-point land. Well, tomorrow night, NBA playoffs will go prime time. Utah and Houston in game number 5. Yesterday, Kenny Smith leading the Rockets, 25 points. Win would advance Houston to the finals for the first time since 1986. Utah and Houston tomorrow night, and then the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time for both starts.
Well, now you have the situation with the Knicks trailing by 3, 26.5 seconds to go. If you come out and launch a quick 3-pointer and miss that, you've got to commit the foul. All good foul shooters on the floor. However, Derek McKee just had to go in and out on him, and I'm sure they try to get the ball into the hands of Miller. So the best thing I think to do is go inside to Patrick Ewing to see if he can't get a play going to the basket, and then if he gets double teamed, throw it out for the possible 3. But Ewing going to the basket is the best bet, and then commit the fouls. You see who the foul shooters are today. 6 for, I think it was 18, I'm sorry, 6 for 18 on 3-point shots. Of course, John Starks has looked more and more comfortable from beyond the arc. Derek Harper can shoot it, and we'll see if Pat Riley puts another 3-point shooter, either Greg Anthony or Hubert Davis, out on the floor just to set that up. But next thing for New York to do is go inside to Patrick Ewing first and see how he's defended. But what New York has been doing is passing the ball terribly out of those double teams. They've had people wide open, in rhythm, and just throwing the ball over their head.
Also a correction. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air will start at 8 p.m. Eastern time, not 7. For those of you making your evening plans, I know we'll adjust it accordingly. 26 and 5/10 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Pacers 80 and the Knicks 77. Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason on the floor, along with the 3 guards, John Starks, Hubert Davis, and Derek Harper. Davis will guard the inbound. And the delay of game taken by Dale Davis, stepping in as Larry Brown checks out the alignment. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining.
I just told his team switch on any cross between any Knicks players who just want to get a look at what's coming up, and there's the switch.
3-point Indiana lead. Starks double team. Down to 15 seconds. just momentarily, and it cost. The Knicks turn it over. Indiana ball, 6 8/10 seconds to go.
Well, the Knicks never got into anything, any kind of execution, just the Pacers running at everybody, forcing everybody to put the ball on the floor. And then, you're right, Hubert Davis just did take his eye off it. The Knicks have to foul now.
25th turnover by the Knicks in what has been a very sloppy game. Here's another look at it. A hard pass thrown, and Hubert took his eye off it. Workman is fouled by Hopper. 5 2/10 seconds remaining. Hayward Workman will go to the line for the first time. Derek Hopper has fouled out. Workman is an 80% free throw shooter, but moments ago, Derek McKee, who is a dependable free throw shooter, missed 2.
Hubert Davis, that pass was from about 10, 12 feet away as Patrick Ewing puts a lot of steam on this thing, and he whipped it, and this has been happening to the Knicks all afternoon, and it has cost them dearly. They've out-rebounded Indiana, have not done a lot with the offensive rebounds that they've gotten. They've got 15, only 7 points, but have kicked the ball over a lot, but continued to get break after break as the Pacers have not made free throws.
Another clutch free throw missed by Indiana. 5 2/10 seconds remaining. Knicks do have 1 timeout left. And Workman hits 1 of 2 for a 4-point lead. Timeout called by the Knicks. All right, Matt, you've been in this situation on a number of occasions. Your team is down by 4, 5 2/10 seconds to go. How do you play it?
Well, you just go in and throw up the old 4-point play.
Yeah.
In which you set up behind the 3-point line, fake up, try to get somebody running at you, and jump into the defensive player and launch the ball. And Marv, you'd be surprised at how many times that defender will run at the offensive guy to try to distract the shot in an attempt to run by, but the offensive player, if he's clever enough and either throws the leg out or moves his body over, might get a hit. However, I'm sure Larry Brown is talking to his team right now about that, and just stand straight up, switch on everything. If the New York Knicks score, whether it be a 3 or 2, take a timeout.
Well, coincidentally, as I look at official Hugh Hollins on the court, that's the situation in Game 5 of the Knicks-Chicago series, where Scottie Pippen did make a movement toward Hubert Davis, and the foul was called. Davis went to the line, hit the 2, and the Knicks won the ball game. So you can't get fouls.
Well, crazy things can happen with 5 seconds to go, but I don't anticipate the Indiana Pacers making a mistake. But watching that game yesterday between the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz, when there were just so many bizarre plays coming down the stretch, you just don't know what's going to happen out there. And again, you don't want to give the referees any kind of inkling that it could make a call. So it's just a matter for Indiana standing straight up and not moving on whatever shot that the Knicks put up right now. And if there is any kind of score, I'm sure Larry Brown would say, take a quick timeout.
And here are the Knicks in a similar situation to a year ago, although in that instance they were facing Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. They won the first 2 and then lost the next 4. They won the first 2 in this series, and if they lose here today, they will have lost 2 straight at Market Square as they head back to the Garden for Wednesday night. And no matter what happens here in the final seconds, Pat Riley has to be saying, where am I going to get some offense? Because for the second consecutive game, it has been a very poor performance by the Knicks. Only 77 points as a follow-up to another Knick turnover. 26 turnovers. And Reggie Miller is hit on that inbounds with 1 8/10 seconds to go.
And also, Pat Riley has to be thinking, hey, we are playing good defense against a tough team on their home floor, only give up 81 points, but we can't get that defense to turn into some easy baskets. It looked like the Knicks came out ready to run today. They got some quick fast break opportunities, but seemed to rush all of their shots. It looked like the game was getting away from them in the third period as Reggie Miller got hot, but the Knicks battled back and certainly had their chances to stay very close coming down the stretch.
Reggie Miller now 16 of 18 from the line, and a 30-point game. Derek Harper is fouled out. That foul by Patrick Ewing a moment ago, his 5th. Ewing leading the Knicks with 25. Assistant coach Bill Blair and Larry Brown certainly enjoying the moment. Pacers by 6, and they have tied the series at 2. This capacity crowd responding to the efforts of the Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller with 31, 13 of the 31 in the 4th. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Mark. Reggie, what a change in attitude and intensity in this team in the last couple of games.
Well, we felt we gave 2 games away in New York. We weren't playing with the same intensity that got us to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was really a gut check for us. We just wanted to come out and play hard, and we knew the things that we weren't doing in games 1 and 2, and I think we're doing them in the last 2 games.
You guys had a team meeting on Friday, turned everything around.
Well, we knew we had to get to Patrick. Patrick is the key to their team. The hustle points, the hustle, loose balls, everything we had to do, and I think we did that in games 3 and 4.
A lot of people talked about the offense, but the defensive effort today was really there. They rated 25 turnovers.
That's what got us here, was defense, and they don't want to give us credit for our defense, but if we can continue to play like this, anything can happen in this series.
Well, there's signs in your locker room saying we got to believe. Do you guys believe you can go back to New York and take one?
Well, for us to win the series, that's what we have to do. We were close in games 1 and 2, but we've got to get over the hump. It's going to be tough there, but it's a new series now.
All right, great game today, Reggie. Good luck to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. Yes, Reggie Miller, 31 points. Big 4th quarter finish for the 83-77 victory. We now have Indiana coach Larry Brown with us. Larry, we were talking prior to the game about the fact that it has been such a quiet series for Reggie Miller, and you said you were concerned you'd rather see him talk it up, both on and off the court. We saw some taunting involved here today.
I don't know if it was taunting, but he got 31 points, so obviously something worked. I think the key is he's got to look to take his shots, and he really came out aggressive and looked to take shots. Some of them, you know, you say no, good shot, but the fact that he was aggressive, if you call it taunting, I call it chit-chat.
Chit-chat.
Right.
Okay. Friendly chit-chat.
I would hope so, because I think those 2 guys have great respect for each other.